Hello, hi, and welcome to Empathic Fire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Aries in November 2020. What is going on, Aries? How are you guys doing? I hope that you are doing well. All right, guys, welcome to November. One more month to go before the end of 2020. How was it? How's your whole year shaping up? Hopefully well. Wherever you are in the world right now, Aries, I hope you are happy, safe, healthy, and secure. Please continue to take very good care of yourselves and those that you know and love, okay? No other announcements other than happy Thanksgiving if you will be celebrating here in the States or anywhere in the world if you're celebrating the holiday. I hope you have a good one. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. Anything you want from me, Aries, it's already in the description box. If you want the timestamp, it is down there. If you want to see how to go about getting a personal reading with me, you can find the information down below as well. If you have a question before you place an order, just email me at the same address. I will answer you as soon as I can. If you're interested in doing a donation towards the channel, feel free to use either the PayPal link or the Cash App link down below. It is never expected, but it is always appreciated, okay? And if you want to follow me on Instagram, the name is EmpathicFire Tarot. There is a link for that down in the description box as well. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. I want to see the outcome for Aries in November, please. Outcome for Aries in November, please show me. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. Alright, let's flip what came face down for you. Alright. And I kind of want to straighten these. And it looks pretty good. I'm satisfied. Let's get into it. Please show me where Aries is in November 2020. Aries in November 2020, please show me. Okay, got it. Aries, coming into November, you come in with the energy of the Ten of Wands in reverse. Very good. Ten of Wands in reverse is pretty good way to start a reading. Whatever trials and tribulations, whatever grief or burdensome situations or circumstances or people and relationships that you've had in your life, there's kind of a wrapping up of that energy. This feels like it feels like a real like cleanse, like you're really like letting things go. Some of you might literally be on a health cleanse, or since this is wands, it could be a spiritual cleanse that you're participating in, or that you're trying to get a resolution out of, or some type of change out of, something like that. But I just feel like there's just like a no more, yeah, there's like no more wanting to feel hurt. Interesting. Not wanting to feel hurt, not wanting to feel burdened, not wanting to feel tired, exhausted, stress, all these things. In some of your cases, just to be warned, Aries, it does feel like a few of you might be cutting corners. A few of you might be turning your back on certain responsibilities. Be careful with that if you choose to do those things. It's your life, of course, you can do what you want. But I'm getting like a little bit of a warning here. Like, don't cut too many corners. Don't forget your obligations or forget the things or the people that you're responsible towards. And again, this is a general, so this can go vice versa. This could be the way someone is dealing with you or the way someone is showing up in your life, and this is something that you're noticing in their behavior. But overall, despite the warning and despite the, a little bit of a caution that I'm feeling here, it really feels very positive for you, because what has transpired before this, or what we see here, is literally someone being burned at the stake. So that's like a huge, it's a very precarious and a very painful way to be, or a situation to be in, right? God forbid someone was literally doing this to you, but I mean, it's just like there's no escape, and there sort of is like this, like I said before, like a burden here when we have it in the upright, right? But we have this in the reverse as your starting position. So I really get the sense like a lot of you are just turning your back on that, not wanting to participate in that. It could be, okay, thank you. Going back to this issue of obligation and responsibility, it feels like for some of you, you're kind of cutting people, maybe not cutting people. How can I say this? Well, no, they're giving me like this. They're like giving me like this motion with like scissors, like cut, cut, cut. So I feel like you're severing ties with people that possibly have high expectations of you, or certain expectations of you, if not high. Just like I feel like some Aries, you've been dealing with a person or people or situations that expect too much of you, or expect more than you're willing to give, or you're able to give. Does that, okay, thank you. More than you're able to give. And so that becomes a drain, that becomes a burden, and that would lead anybody to be exhausted, not just Aries. So I feel like for the sake of self-preservation, you realize that you have to get away from a situation, you have to get away from a person. And it's not to say forever, it's not to say, you know, clean slate all aboard, all across your entire life, but there's just something where you know you can't take it anymore, and so you release it. You can't deal with this anymore, so you let go. You can't show up in the ways that people want you to show up, so you walk away, or you take a break, or whatever it is. Yeah. So that's what this feels like. It feels like knowing that, you know, the straw has broken the camel's back, and, you know, instead of letting the camel sit there and suffer, you put it out of its misery. You know, I mean, like that's a metaphor and figurative speech, but like that's sort of what I'm feeling here. It's like, in order to make myself feel better, in order to maintain my sanity, maintain my health, maintain my wellness, my money, whatever the situation is, you realize you can't go any further down a particular path. Okay. What else happens for Aries? Please show me. Okay, yes, twice. Okay, so you've got it twice. I did this thing with the cutting, you know, snip, snip, that I was getting, and that's twice confirmed with the Emperor and the Queen of Swords. And I think that, yes, okay, so we're going there immediately, they say. So Queen of Swords, you could be dealing with an air sign. This is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You don't have to be. But again, I think this is mostly you, or I think this is sort of one of the sides of yourself that you're putting forward. You're telling people very honestly, very frankly, I am not doing XYZ. Do not expect me to do ABC for you anymore, or do not expect me to show up in these ways anymore. The Queen of Swords knows their value. It doesn't have to be a female. Again, doesn't have to be an air sign, but this is somebody who knows their value, states their own expectations, and then will tell you flat out what they can and cannot do for you, what they will and will not do for you. Okay. This is a no nonsense energy. Again, this could be you, or it could be someone that you're dealing with. Again, this can go vice versa, but I don't sense there's any bad blood here. You know, the Queen of Swords in low vibe can be very petty, can be very vindictive, or manipulative or spiteful. And I'm just not feeling that. I'm really feeling like, okay, like a wising up, like smartening up to the situation. Well, this isn't going the way I want, and I'm not feeling fulfilled in the ways that I want. I'm not feeling respected in the ways that I want to be respected, loved in the ways I want to be loved, compensated. Again, if this is about money in some form or fashion, I'm not feeling compensated the way that I think I should be compensated. Therefore, I'm not going to do blah 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 blah. You know, and the thing about the Queen of Swords is she excises, right? The snip, snip, snip with the scissors that I was seeing in my mind. So this person will literally make exacting, very poignant and pivotal changes in their life, and speak that change into existence. You know what I mean? Like speak it into existence. So some of you might have been manifesting with that type of leaning. You may have been speaking your truth for weeks or months now, and that is an act, or at least an aid in your manifestation practices. So I just don't get the sense from this card or the Ten of Wands that there's any holding back. Am I gonna sneeze? No. Okay, good. I did not want to sneeze. Anyway, so I just feel you're not holding back here. I feel like you're being possibly as patient as an Aries can be, because I'm getting this sense like she's standing in this library. She's not looking like she's rushed to do anything, or that she's taking any swift action. She could, because swords do indicate possibly swift changes or actions or words, right? But I get the sense like you're being really like calm and collected about this. So maybe that's surprising to you and or other people. Whereas, you know, once Aries has had it, I mean, well, to be fair, Aries isn't necessarily explosive. You can be, but it's not like your go-to move. Like a Leo, I think, is probably out of the three fire signs, Leo probably would be the most explosive on impact. Does that make sense? Like the initial thing, like once it's over, like once the switch is flipped, Leo like goes from 0 to 100. You know, Sagittarius probably not at all, or at least, nah, it depends. But what I'm sensing here is just like you or someone around you is surprised at how calm you're being or how matter of fact you're being. I think some of you have this perception, other people have this perception about you as being really reactionary. And I think you're not being reactionary. And that's kind of surprising to people. And I think that's because you have this master. Yes, thank you. You have this mastery around you. Queen of Swords, that's a master in the court cards in my estimation. The kings and the queens and all the suits for my estimation are masters. And then you have this Emperor card, Major Arcana for you, Aries. So this is your card, your energy. Again, this can be flipped, or you're dealing with another Aries or someone who's just going through a situation like this. And this is another, again, a sign of mastery here, of self-mastery, of self-contained energy. You could be explosive. You could, as this Emperor is showing you, you could whip out the weapons that are necessary to take down your prey, to take down your enemies. You could, but you're not. I feel you're being really controlled and you're holding back. Okay, so there you go. So be careful with that. Okay, they're giving me a warning here. Be careful with that. When you hold back, because for some of you, you're holding back what, like you're giving part of your truth. Does that make sense? You're giving part of your truth. Because I did say that down here with the Ten of Wands in reverse. You're expressing your truth. You're telling people what you are going to be doing going forward. Henceforth, I will be doing X, Y, Z. I will be doing, you know, ABC, whatever. And I won't be doing this other thing, you know. I think there's a tendency, because you do have a lot of masculine energy here, Wands, Swords, and the Emperor. Those are all masculine identified cards in tarot. And masculine energy is known to be action oriented, is known to be straightforward and kind of, you know, no fuss, no muss. However, it's not usually expressive. So as much, and that might sound kind of like a contradiction. Well, if I'm telling people what I'm doing, then I'm being expressive. Yes, you can tell someone logically with the swords how you feel, why you feel that way, or what your plans are. But I'm sensing for some of you, there's like a detachment or a protection of your own vulnerability, and that can create further issues going forward. That's kind of how this feels. So if there's a chance for you to be more honest with what you're emotionally going through or feeling, or the reasons why you are emotionally distraught or upset about something, in concert with, alongside why you logically are coming to your conclusions, like don't turn away from the emotional factors is what this feels like. That's not for everybody. That's for a few of you, because this stoic energy of the Emperor combined with the precise excision of the Queen of Wands and then the absolute rejection of further burden, that's a wonderful protective energy. But again, it's like, you know, anything in tarot and anything in life is about balance, right? So as much as this is, like I just said, high masculine energy, don't neglect the feminine energies within you, okay? And regardless of your gender, regardless of your sign, regardless of anything else, we all carry masculine and feminine energy within us. We all have masculine and feminine traits within us. And I feel here there's like a very strong emphasis on the masculine side, and that could be happening to the detriment of the feminine side of you, okay? Other than that, I would say you've got some, like, nobody's going to tell you anything different. You've decided you're on this trajectory. With this globe, I feel some of you, if you're like having to put plans into motion, if it involves travel, if it involves relocation, if it involves any type of moving from one place to another in your physical life, in your spiritual life, in your financial life, whatever it is, it's like I'm seeing this Emperor making tactical decisions, and that's informed by what you're learning or what you are, again, because she's like standing in this library, right? So I feel like some of you are learning or studying something based on information that you're gathering. You've put together a very finite and a very tight-knit plan, that I think will come to fruition, and I think you're going to get what you want. But again, I caution you to not neglect the feminine side of yourself or other people. Okay? Oh, other people. Why did I say that? Mm. I don't really know what that means, but be careful with that. What song is playing? Okay, that's fine. I don't think that's a copywritten song, so I just wanted to make sure. Or I mean, it probably is, but I don't think YouTube would pull it down if it hears it. Anyway, what else is happening for Aries, please? Show me. Okay, yes, exactly. So, at some point in this journey, this trajectory, this phase of your life, this next stage of your life or plan of your life, you got to make sure you do some check-in, okay? Because I feel for a few of you, it's not even the majority of you. So this is a very big warning for like just a few of you. For others, it's more of like a just be mindful kind of feeling. Don't forget to check in with yourself. Don't forget to check in with your situation, your circumstances, and for some of you, check in with your foundation. So your job, how you're able to support yourself or pay your bills. There's just something here. Check in, check in, check in is what I'm getting. Check in. You don't want to. Let's say it this way. If you were making a trip between destination point A, or excuse me, point A to destination B, right? If it's a road trip, and it's like 20 hours to get there, wherever you're going, right? It doesn't make sense to drive the entire way through. You could, it's humanly possible to drive a straight 20 hours. I don't know who that person is, but those people exist. Is it the smartest move? Is it the safest move? Is it the most comfortable way to make a 20-hour journey? Does that make sense? So between point A and point B, feel free to check in. Pull off on the side of the road, stretch your legs, go to a rest stop, eat some lunch, take a nap at like at a roadside motel, do something to give yourself a bit of rest, to give yourself time to reflect and check up on yourself in the middle of this journey. Maybe between point A and point B, maybe your tires get a little messed up or something happens with your car. Take it into a mechanic. You see what I mean? There's a group of this in this energy Aries where you're so gung-ho to get what you want that you're not wanting to, or frankly, you haven't even put it into your plan to stop and rest, to stop and reflect, to stop and check in with yourself, or check in with your finances, check in with your foundations. If you are making big moves, excuse me, if you're making big moves in your personal life and you've got friends or family that care for you, that maybe some of them depend on you, or maybe some of them are in business or other types of partnership with you, you can't make solitary decisions and not expect other people to be impacted is kind of what this is feeling like. Now, just because other people are going to be impacted doesn't mean you can't go through with your plans. It just means you might have to augment some things, or you might have to take half a step back, or you might have to wait a day or two, like literally in this like destination thing that I've drawn up in my mind where you're driving from one place to the next in 20 hours. It's a 20-hour trip, but maybe there's some reason that you have to pull off to the side of the road or stay over at a hotel because you got to check in with the people back home, and you got to take like a Zoom call meeting for your job, something like that. Okay. So as you progress, I don't think anything's going to stop you. So don't take this as me saying, oh, stop yourself, go back to square one. Absolutely not. That's not in your game plan. That's not on the table. It's not on the cards for you at all. But I want you to be aware, some of you, that in your haste of going towards whatever you want and moving away from the things that you don't want with the 10 of Wands in reverse, there is a chance that you could overlook certain details. Because, I mean, also look at this woman's face. Look how worried she is, or like perplexed she is. She's kind of like, oh man, look at all my pentacles in my little pentacles rose garden here. Like, should I pluck them? Should I leave them on the vine here, or leave them in the ground? Should I dig them up? There's like questioning here. So don't be afraid to question yourself. Don't be afraid to check in, augment your plans. And if you have to make certain pit stops or your plans are on delay. Don't get bitter about it is also kind of what's coming through here. Don't be mad if other people or circumstances around you can't work or move on this journey as quickly as you want to move. That's also what's here. Fire, and air. It's fast. What you want to do and how you want to do it, fast. You want it today. And that's fair. That's most fire signs. I mean, the most chill about it is probably Sagittarius. But so there's something here that says, don't be afraid to take a little break. Don't be afraid to catch your breath, to grab a cup of water, do some deep breaths, whatever you have to do. So be patient, not only with other people, but with yourself, Aries, okay? I don't know what this 10 of Wands is all about. Maybe some of you have a really good reason of wanting to get things over and done with quick, fast, and in a hurry. But I do get the sense of you don't want to push all the way to the destination just to do it in a timely manner. You know what I mean? Excuse me. Like, I feel like some of you feel like you're in a race, but you're racing yourself, or you're racing your own, like you're on your own, like you're in a race, but you're the only one racing. Does that make sense? Like, I'm sitting like somebody like on a field, or like I said, like in this like journey, this 20-hour road trip, but nobody else is making this road trip. You don't have someone in the seat beside you. You're not, in a, what do you call those? Like a rally race or anything like that. It's all you. You're doing it by yourself. So I don't know what the rush is. So they're really cautioning me about you guys rushing. Okay. What else happens here? Exactly. Be patient. Be patient. Queen of Wands. Queen of Pentacles. My bad. Queen of Pentacles. Be patient. Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You could be dealing with an earth sign, but you don't have to be. So this could be someone outside of you. This could be an external person, male or female, earth sign or not. It does not matter. It is a general. And they could be a reason why you want to slow down. For some, this is like a partner, like a business partner, a romantic partner, a friend. In other cases, this is like a partner in the sense of like a helper to you, like an advisor, or somebody who, I don't think they're a part of your 10 of Wands backstory. I really don't think they're back there, but they have some knowledge of what's going on here. So like a therapist, perhaps, or a counselor, or, just a good friend who, just is really, I'm getting the sense like really chill, like really relaxed, like really mellow in the way that they interact with you. And they might be advising you, or because you guys have future plans together, if you're a business partner, romantic partner, friend, whatever, they just can't get to where you're going as fast as you want to get there. And so this could be a discrepancy in just, two people who have two different ways of approaching the same situation, or approaching the same goal, right? If you want to start a business with someone and you had things that you had to wrap up here, maybe you had some financial debt, or you had some other type of obligation that needed to be released. Maybe you had a contractual agreement that you needed to be released from, right? And here's the new partner that you want to work with. They want to work with you too, perhaps, but they can't, again, get there as quickly as you. If you guys are making you're making the same 20-hour road trip, this person is going to take like 3 days to do it. And you're like, I'm trying to get it done in a day and a half. And this person is taking double the time. Now, this is not to say put your life on hold for anybody. Okay. That's never really advice in the tarot, that I've seen in my own work. And I don't think most other readers would say this, or would say to wait on anybody. So don't. But at the same time, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's that pause right here with the 7 of Pentacles. Here's someone who maybe, again, who has the same goal in business that you do. Maybe you both want to start something up. Maybe you both want to start an organization, or you want to work and create something artistic together. However, they have a slower work ethic, or it takes them longer to come up with ideas, or, since this is Pentacles, they might have a bit of a time getting certain monies pulled to the side so that they can invest with you. Do you get what I mean? So you want it now, and this person wants it too, but they are more comfortable with waiting. They're more comfortable with letting it sort of marinate. There's something here about marinating. Like, this person is in no rush and you're in a much bigger rush. And I think if you guys are to work together, if you guys are to be in some type of partnership, if you guys are to be copacetic and on the same team, I just don't think this person understands why it's has to happen today. And of course, that's going to be very, specific and nuanced to all of you. Your situations are individual and have their own details to them. So if you don't mind taking a break with the Seven of Pentacles, taking time to check in with yourself, making sure that, just being like satisfied. Because even if you, out of the 20-hour trip, let's say you make, 8 hours or 10 hours in the first day, you've already made it practically halfway. So like, pat yourself on the back, you know what I mean? Like, I feel this person also might encourage you to do that. Like, even if they're not in partnership with you, like I said, this could just be a friend or like a therapist or a counselor or just someone that you go to who, you let off steam with or something like that. And I think that this person in general is supportive of you, Aries, but they support you. I think they would congratulate you. I think they would acknowledge all the ways in which you've tried and you've overcome, and they're happy to see you succeed, but they also kind of are like, I don't see, like, I think this person recognizes you might be putting a lot of pressure on yourself. And also note, thank you, that this is a person in feminine energy, or at least they have a good part of them is coming through as feminine energy, as this is Pentacles. Okay. So they are interested, or at least have an affinity with, or an alignment with that side of yourself that I told you is kind of being suppressed with these three corner cards. So again, I don't know what that means to you. I don't know why this is coming through, but be patient with yourself and others, and don't shy away from or totally, reject those more feminine sides of yourself. Okay? Whatever that means to you. I don't want to go too much into it because it's not even really here, but I can feel it around you. I feel like there's just like this, I need it now, I want it now, this has to happen now, I'm tired of this, I want to move on from this, I want to get out of here, blah, 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 and being very proactive. And in all of that fervor of being proactive, you could turn towards a tendency of being impatient, of being, frankly, kind of an asshole. Okay? Like, not saying you are all the time, but if you continue in that vein and you work in that sort of headspace for several days or weeks on end, you could turn into a dick. Okay? So just be careful. That's what this is coming through as. Just be careful. And here comes our good friend. What's his name? Lloyd Bridges? No, which one is it? Lloyd or Bo? I think it's Lloyd Bridges. This guy looks like Lloyd Bridges to me a little bit. Anyway, this is actually the Magician card in the tarot deck. So, this is a secondary major for Gemini and Virgo. So you could be dealing with a Gemini or Virgo, but you don't have to be. So I feel like, you see how he's like opening a door, or he's standing in like an archway or something, and his hand is kind of gesturing like a welcome, or look over here, or, I just get the sense of like, you get what you want. You're going to be stepping into a phase of your life, Aries, where you call the shots. Some of you, again, this is like stepping out on your own, opening your own store, or creating your own business or something like that. Or you're stepping into new relationships or into singlehood, perhaps for a few of you, not for everybody. There is going to be like sort of a personal welcome wagon. You're going to recognize that you got yourself to wherever you're going. Wherever you're going, you got yourself there. You were the one driving the car the whole time. Like I said, on that 20-hour road trip, you're the only one in the vehicle, right? So there is this sense I'm getting from this Magician in self-congratulatory energy. Perfect. I don't mind a little cheerleading for yourself. I don't mind when people pat themselves on the back. However, there is a caution again with this magician energy and with the Seven of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. Don't isolate yourself. Don't, as much as you're doing the legwork, as much as you're the one, making the plans, executing the plans, as much as you're reliant on yourself, keep in mind, unless you're like, no offense to anybody, unless you're like a sociopath or a psychopath, you're not a lone figure. Those two archetypes, those two personality traits, or whatever you call them, and even maybe to an extent like narcissistic personality types, those three, narcissistic, psychopath, and sociopath, even sociopath has like social engagement. So maybe specifically narcissists and psychopaths, those are the only two or three that really do anything on their own. And like, truly they're by themselves, So I get the sense that for some of you, and I'm not trying to call you guys out. I'm not calling you guys any of those things, but I just get the sense that maybe from potentially like an ego-based place, because the magician can be, when it's low vibe a little bit, it can be aligned with high ego activity in the sense of like, again, what I mentioned earlier, self-preservation, but to like an exorbitant or an extensive degree, a very high degree of egoic action and behavior. Okay. So if someone has helped you, potentially, it doesn't have to be this person specifically, Queen of Pentacles, but if someone else has been around you or other people have helped you along the way, like on that road trip, you made the trek, you drove the car, but maybe you stopped somewhere and somebody pumped your gas for you. Maybe somebody made you a meal at a roadside diner. You know what I mean? So like, those are the places where I think in this magician energy of feeling accomplished and feeling like I did this, don't forget that there have been people who helped you along the way, even if it feels inconsequential. Well, I didn't need to have that lunch. I just, I could have gone the whole time without having the lunch. Okay, you could have, but you didn't. You see what I mean? You could have driven the entire trip from point A to point B and not had any meal served to you by anybody on the side of the road or at a local restaurant, but you did. If you made the stop and someone served you and you appreciated the meal, you loved the meal, you felt full, you felt energized after it, just have that small sense of gratitude that, yes, I'm where I want to be, or I'm moving towards what I want to be moving towards, but don't forget that you didn't do it all by yourself. Like literally, you did not. Okay? You you initiated the plan, you enacted the plan, you crossed the finish line by yourself, sure, but along the way somebody helped you, or some people have been helping you. And I don't know what this is. This is like, for some of you, you're wanting to take all the credit. And on one hand, I get that sentiment. I understand why you would want to, but on the other hand, I'm like, but you should also be like thankful to that person or this person or her or him or him, them or whoever, you know what I mean? So be careful with that, okay? Overall, it feels though, Aries, it's moving in a positive direction, but you have the power. I see it here. You have the power to make it a very, you have the power to really like derail this, or not even derail. Maybe I should take that back. You can make it a little less positive, I guess, is what this feels like. It's just, I hope you get what I'm saying. Like, there's a few of you. It's not for everybody. There's just a few of you out there where you could really turn this into like a really egotistical thing. Like you could be really giving into something here. Anyway, pardon me. Your outcome card is the Strength card, major arcana for Leo. You could be dealing with a Leo, but you don't have to be. So I feel, again, you're going to be fulfilled. You're going to get what you want. You're going to move towards, even if you don't get the outcome within November, by the way, I only use, the months and the mid-months as like markers of when I record this. This could play out for you later in 2021. This could have played out for you earlier in 2020. This is just a retrospect for a few of you. So the timing of it is sort of very expansive, and don't hold on to it happening within the month of November. It could for some of you, but not for everybody. But I want you to kind of note that like I usually see this as this hand, which is, palm against a mirror, and the reflection is the person whose hand that belongs to, right? I'm really getting, and this is a Leo card, so it kind of fits the archetype of Leo. I feel like some of you could be teetering very close to being overtaken by your egoic impulses or your egoic protection. Ego, not in like a narcissistic way or in a way of what's that word? Arrogance. Thank you. Ego in the sense of like protecting yourself. Ego is really like, when you think about it from a psychological perspective and a little bit from a holistic or a spiritual perspective, ego is this protective thing in you. It's like it's not small, but it's the voices or the tendencies and the impulses and the little sort of bursts of reason that come through, and it's all protective. Even if it feels proactive, like I think, which is going on over here in the corner, there's a lot of proactive energy. There's a lot of taking control, taking the reins and moving the chariot or driving, again, point A to point B, driving the car on the route that you want to drive, is taking every road, every exit that you decide. That's all great. That's autonomy, that's self-possession, that's control, right? But if it's has a high alignment or allegiance with your ego, it's also running from something. Or it's also trying to set up these actions to ensure that you don't endure something that you've endured in the past. Protective energy again. So I think that's stemming from your 10 of Wands. If this was a regular reading or a mid-month or like a personal reading, I would totally clarify that 10 of Wands, but I'm not, because I don't do that in the monthlies. But I feel like your ego could be having a reaction to whatever the 10 of Wands is. And I think it will be successful. I think you're going to be overall in a better place. However, you can easily slip, like I said before, into this prospect or excuse me, not this prospect, this perspective that says, I did all this by myself. Nobody else helped me. Nobody else cared about me the whole time I did this, da 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 da. And you got to be careful with that. You got to be careful with that. Just, that's for some of you. This is coming through for, I'm going to say like 10 to 15, maybe 20% of you are possibly teetering towards that avenue. For the rest of you, the Strength card and the Magician as well is coming through as just saying, is again giving me the sense of self-possession. I did this. I deserve this. I'm congratulating myself. And in some cases, because the Strength card can be about conquering certain fears or certain pitfalls, okay? Some of you are possibly aware, like maybe you have been doing work on your ego, or you have been doing work, if you are, talking to a counselor or a therapist, you have been not only dealing with your external relationships and how those have been trying or burdensome to you, you're also analyzing the relationship that you have with yourself. Okay? Very interesting. Overall energy is the Four of Pentacles. So I think, Aries, I feel like you just want stability. You want things in your life to be cool, calm, and collected. Okay? You do have 3 cards of Pentacles, but I'm not really feeling like this is money. Like, I don't think many of you are facing like true financial hardship. Some of you could, but most of you are not. But I think if it does have to deal with your stability and your finances in that material sense, I think whatever you've gotten yourself out of, you kind of like, you might be talking to a financial advisor with the Queen of Pentacles there, and you're like finding out safer ways to hold on to your money. Maybe you had some bad investments. Maybe you had shared accounts with people and they drained you of your money. So there is, again, this protective energy coming through, because Four of Pentacles in traditional interpretation is about holding on to what we have and not wanting to let go, not wanting to lose any more than we have to lose. Does that make sense? For those where this isn't finances and it's more your physical stability or the stability of your emotions perhaps, or the stability within your relationships. I feel you are definitely, again, for some of you with that Seven of Pentacles, taking a break, taking time to reflect on the relationships and the people around you that are supportive, that are helpful to you, and you want to hold on to that. Or at least, in some of your cases, because this is also giving me like creepy, like voodoo doll vibes, some of you might come to a realization about a person, one or two people who you thought were like good buds of yours, good friends of yours, supporters of yours, and they're not really. And so you might be reluctant to let that go, but that is a life lesson. You'll learn about that as you do this work and as the story unfolds, okay? So, Aries, that is your reading for November. If you liked it, there's a like button down below. Hit that for me. If you want to leave a comment, let me know how this resonated. That would be super, super cool. If you want to subscribe to the channel, if you haven't done so already, that would also be awesome. Also be awesome. Anyway, Aries, I'll be back soon with the mid-November readings. Again, guys, happy Thanksgiving if you're celebrating. And if you want a personal reading with me, you can find that information in the description box below, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Take care.